Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star Part 295 based on novel. So let's start. The outburst of the two great palace-type supreme true treasures, Black Prison Tower and Empress Palace, unleashed terrifying gravitational force. The two camps of Universe Masters went completely wild with violence. Both sides had fallen into an intense fight. The united force of the three races had a total of 112 Universe Masters. Adding on the other bodies of certain Universe Masters, the total number of godly bodies in that force exceeded 120. As for the human camp, with a starting count of 92 Universe Masters, including Darkness Master, after adding on the other bodies of certain Universe Masters, their total count exceeded 100. With so many Universe Masters gathered in the same place and countless attacks occurring at the same time, the level of energy was continuously changing and expanding. The attack powers from both sides were almost at the 8th tier, and the Universe Supreme Masters could only execute theirs at 6th tier as the top, which meant that the moment they were hit by an attack, they might be thrown far away into the distance by the impact. Kill the group of demons, bugs, and automaton race. I have never exchanged blows with the Universe Masters of the Bug Clan before, yet now, so many Universe Masters are attacking together. This is simply satisfying. The numerous Universe Masters were highly excited. All burned with passion. When over 100 godly bodies executed their techniques at the same time, the outburst of energy formed an energy domain of an area of 1,000,000 kilometers around them. It was like when Universe Supreme Masters burned their godly powers to get their godly powers to rise up. The energy generated could expel Golden Kingdom and Snow Sand Ocean within a small surrounding area. Not to mention the combined power of over 100 Universe Masters. Their opponents were attacking like crazy. But when they charged into this energy domain, their energies were vigorously consumed. Regardless of what kind of technique, godly power attack, soul attack, or illusion attack, all of the attacks were collectively worn out the moment they reached the energy domain, even before anything could reach these Universe Masters. Too powerful. When so many of us Universe Masters join forces, we become overwhelmingly powerful. Even Universe Supreme Beings will mean nothing to us. Even a top-tier true treasure, when confronted by our combined attack, will most likely be shattered to pieces. Of course, it will shatter. Previously, some silly fool from the united force of the three races sent a blow across the void space with his blade, and that top-tier true treasure blade was reduced to powder and dust right away. Satisfaction. Universe Masters from both camps were killing to their heart's content. They were Universe Masters, after all. When would they get the chance to experience such an outburst of power that was so overwhelmingly strong? Even Universe Supreme Masters could not beat them. This was an execution of an attack with formidable power, and, indeed, it brought them the utmost satisfaction. Both sides were executing their attack techniques. The power of certain attacks, upon execution, was worn out by the surrounding energy domain as the Universe Masters fought their way through while resisting their enemy's attack. Some others were able to charge through the surrounding energy domain to reach their enemy's camp, yet their powers were eventually worn out upon entering the enemy's energy domain. The number of godly bodies within the human camp might have been more than 100, but this number was still smaller than that of the united force of the three races. They had to focus more on defense and less on attacks. If they could at least put up a strong defense, they could block off the attacks. Then everything should work out fine. The combined force of our attack, Father God of the automaton race said via voice transmission, must have scared Luo Feng and Pengong Master into hiding in the boat of Mausoleum. Since they are not coming out, we shall change course and target our attacks at that group of Universe Masters. Shock Horn, Dream Tea, Empress, we shall join in the attacks to help the Universe Masters on our force. All right. With us joining forces, our attack power will surely be able to surpass the 8th tier and go beyond this level. We shall wait for the chance to kill those Universe Masters. This war. We are going to fight a winning battle. The four Universe Supreme Masters made up their minds instantly. Amidst the void space in the dark universe, there were thousands of automaton puppets. They had been encircling the boat of Mausoleum but were unable to do anything against it. Exasperated, the entire puppet troupe simply could not be bothered anymore. They roared loudly with their mouths wide open. That was when the first streak of light in the shape of an arc was spat into the air. Shortly after, thousands of arc-shaped streaks of light started to appear and combine with one another. Finally, the convergence was completed to form a sharp arc of light. The arc of light swept toward Black Prison Tower. "Go!" roared Shock Demon Ancestor, a beast with a serrated shell. A cone-shaped image appeared and transformed into a dark storm. Then it dashed toward Black Prison Tower right away. "Humans!" Dream Demon Ancestor let out a hoarse shout and shot out a cyan-colored shadow from the mouth of its gigantic snake's head. Humph! Beneath the attack of a large crowd of Universe Masters, a large quantity of dazzling, golden light was suddenly seen from Empress Palace. At that moment, all 4 Universe Supreme Masters were attacking at the same time. Every Universe Supreme Master was equivalent to 10 Universe Masters, so with the 4 Universe Supreme Masters attacking at the same time, the power that could be executed by 120 godly bodies instantly soared to that of 160 godly bodies. After combining the attacks by the 4 Supreme Masters, the energy level once again underwent a change to completely surpass that of the 8th tier energy level. Endless attacks were on the way. The energy domain of the human camp was instantly suppressed to only 1/10 of its previous area of influence. The violent attacks from the united forces of the 3 races could even prevent the attacks by Universe Masters of the human camp from surging out of their energy domain. All that the Universe Masters from the human camp could manage to do was rush about, resisting attacks and defending themselves. Too strong. Unable to block. If this goes on, there will definitely be problems. Once the energy domain that we are defending has a flaw, that single weak point will cause the entire storm of violent attacks to sweep its way in. Then we are bound to see our Universe Masters being annihilated. This cannot go on. The entire human camp was in a state of panic, bustling about helter-skelter. In the face of such overwhelming attacks, 100 godly bodies were forced to resist powerful attacks equivalent to 160 godly bodies. The more great beings there were, the more the power would go on increasing progressively, so the difference in power between both sides could now be estimated as 2 to 3 times. The human camp was bracing itself to last for as long as it could. Under such pressure, even if there isn't a weak point, the consumption of our godly bodies alone will be our undoing. If we lose 50% of our godly bodies, our power will only be left with 10%. Following the consumption of our godly bodies, our combat power will be reduced progressively, too. On the other hand, the united force of the 3 races has the help of 4 Supreme Masters. In terms of consumption, no matter how long this war takes, the 4 Supreme Masters can easily maintain at least the 6th tier as the top level of combat power. The humans were no fools. They could, after all, become Universe Masters. They all knew they were in a dangerous situation. Within the boat of Mausoleum, Luo Feng and Peng Gong Master had just witnessed the crossfire between the Universe Masters from both camps. They were lamenting over their observations when they saw the 4 Supreme Masters joining the battle. "Luo Feng, Peng Gong, if the both of you are still not going to enter the field, things are going to go awry very soon." Darkness Master transmitted a voice message with a tone of harshness. Peng Gong transmitted his reply to Darkness Master. "The crossfire has only just begun. We are not needed there yet. Up until now, the battle has only gone on for a while. The godly bodies of our Universe Masters should be barely consumed at all. Don't spout nonsense." Darkness Master was highly anxious. "Why don't you come here and try it for yourself? The power of their attacks is much too strong. The moment we lose our defense, I'm afraid we will start to see the annihilation of our Universe Masters. If we drag on for too long, following the continued consumption of godly bodies, our ability to resist will gradually weaken. Luo Feng, when do you intend to counterattack?" Luo Feng frowned and shouted his decision right away. "Peng Gong, let's take the field together." "All right," Peng Gong said. He squinted, but through the pair of slits, his eyes were flashing with insanity. The speed of the boat of Mausoleum skyrocketed suddenly and sharply. Then, without further ado, it dashed into the distance, moving toward the camp of the united force of the 3 races. The boat of mausoleum was so mighty that those automaton puppets did not even dare to stand in its way. The moment it came charging toward them, even Father God of the automaton race, who had previously been so arrogant, immediately ceased the attacks of his puppet troop. Father God of the automaton race transmitted his orders. Shockhorn, Dream Tea, Empress, you all will continue to attack the human universe masters of the human camp. This Luo Feng and Peng, leave them to me. All right. Automaton, you must block them both. Beware of Luo Feng. He has received the inheritance of the pulse of Duandong River. Who knows? He might have some other strange treasures. Father God of automaton race transmitted his reply. Don't worry. I have never let my guard down before. Thousands of automaton puppets were seen to have flocked around the boat of mausoleum. When the boat of mausoleum's speed soared from 100 times light speed to several hundred times light speed, those puppets did likewise. When the entire boat of mausoleum was about to collide with that black sphere, the boat of mausoleum vanished into thin air. Luo Feng and Peng Gong appeared in midair. Kill. Kill. The moment they appeared, both executed their attacks at the same time. Break. Luo Feng wielded Blood Ghost Blade, and the blade became insanely huge. From tens of thousands of kilometers of length, the blade speedily expanded to a length of at least 100 million kilometers. The sharp edges grew especially big while the handle remained the same size as before. This gigantic Blood Ghost Blade could not be bothered with the automaton puppets at all. Instead, it hacked murderously at the duo made up of Shock Demon Ancestor and Dream Demon Ancestor. Empress of the Bug Clan, you should accept one rod, too. Yang Jun rod also expanded tremendously in Peng Gong Master's grip, who viciously thrust it far into the distance at Empress Palace. With a hack and a thrust, the two paid no attention to the automaton puppets and instead directed all their attacks at Shock Demon Ancestor, Dream Demon Ancestor, and Empress Palace. Shock Demon Ancestor, Dream Demon Ancestor, and the Empress of the Bug Clan were exceptionally great beings. Of course, given their status, they would be clearly aware that the critical factor determining the victorious party in this war was none other than the group of universe masters of each force. So they paid no heed to Luo Feng and Peng Gong Master's attacks and continued to pour out their individual powers, directing repeated attacks at the human universe masters within Black Prison Tower. But as for Blood Ghost Blade hacking onto the bodies of Shock Demon Ancestor and Dream Demon Ancestor, the idea of a 6th-tier top-level kind of attack injuring a Universe Supreme Master was a joke. Such an attack could, at most, knock these two Universe Supreme Masters back a short distance. Let's not bother with those two humans, Shock Demon Master said, transmitting a voice message. Automaton, they have the boat of mausoleum. That's why they can barge their way through. There is no way you can try to obstruct them. Since that is the case, you might as well ignore them both. A 6th-tier attack. Humph. It won't be able to hurt us at all. We just need to focus on attacking that group of universe masters. The Empress of the Bug Clan also transmitted her voice message. Right, universe masters of the human camp are already starting to get flustered. The moment a loophole appears, their universe masters are bound to face annihilation. Thereafter, the number of deaths on their side will increase. We must win this war. All right. Father God of Automaton Clan also decided that he should no longer be bothered with Luo Feng and Peng Gong. This instantly caused Luo Feng and Peng Gong Master to get anxious and angry, but there was nothing they could do. After all, the primal universe might be able to suppress the attack power of these supreme masters. It was not able to suppress their defensive ability. Darkness Master transmitted another voice message out of anxiety. Luo Feng, Peng Gong, right now, the majority of our universe masters' godly bodies are basically over 95%. But if this situation persists, the consumption of their godly bodies will increase beyond control. And now, just putting up defense alone is exhausting them. Peng Gong Master transmitted a voice message too. Luo Feng and I are getting anxious, too. But the 4 Supreme Masters are too vigilant. Even when they have such a great advantage over us, there isn't the slightest intention of leaving our Universe Masters alone. Now, we need to counterattack. It is almost impossible if we are intending to apprehend all the Universe Masters from both sides in one move. It is already very tough trying to apprehend the Universe Masters from one side, not to mention two sides. Luo Feng was worried sick. Universe Masters within the camp of the united force of the three races were divided into three places. Empress Palace had 80, the vessel belonging to the demons had 16, and the Black Sphere of Father God of the automaton race had 16. Although Luo Feng and company were unable to determine an accurate number, those great beings were standing in easily observable spots like the edge of the hole's opening or the edge of cabin doors, so it would be possible to come up with a rough estimate of their numbers. Luo Feng had initially intended to wipe out all the Universe Masters of the opposing force that the two demon ancestors and Father God of automaton race were protecting. But now, through gritted teeth, Luo Feng transmitted his voice message. I don't care anymore. If this goes on, not only will we not win, but we might even suffer a crushing defeat. Counterattack. In the space of the Dark Universe. While the human team and the United Forces Alliance fought, great beings watched from a distance. A purple-caped being stood in the space, and he saw the battlefield through the space and time in front of him. I can't believe there are more than 100 Universe Masters, and they're this powerful. It seems that I need to learn from you, Northern Territory Alliance Master, and be an Alliance Master. At least I'll have a group of Universe Masters to command. 10 billion kilometers away from the purple-caped being, an elder with a white beard said, "Do you want to be the Alliance Master, Shahua? Then I'll give you the Northern Territory Alliance." Shahua Island leader transmitted his voice to all the great beings around him. "You're so generous, aren't you? But I won't seize what you have. Everyone, what do you think the result is? I think the United Forces Alliance will win. Even Ancestral God thinks the Alliance will win. Then I'll side with the United Forces Alliance as well. It's hard to say. Luo Feng got the inheritance from Duandong River, and the human team has two supreme true treasures. Who knows whether they have more true treasures or not? What do you think, old beast god?" "I think the United Forces Alliance will win. I thought you had a good relationship with the human race, old beast god," someone screamed. A giant creature was flowing. "That human race can't resist it anymore, yet you're not doing anything to help. You're so sneaky. I hate that. What do you want to do? Fight me? Do you think I'm scared of you? Old beast god, Ju, why are you two fighting? It has nothing to do with you, virtual real. I just hate this old beast god. Just keep quiet and watch first. Sitting Mountain guest is right. Just watch. This is a very important war. The inheritance from Duandong River was very attractive. The Universe Supreme Masters had all come here either by their original bodies or their avatars. They were all able to sense the space and time, and they could sense a very broad area. When the United Forces Alliance showed up in the human territory, they immediately sensed it. However, they all watched it from a distance, as they didn't want to meddle. Aside from those Supreme Masters, some Universe Masters had also come, like Prison King. However, they were relatively inferior and weren't entitled to joining in the conversations among Universe Supreme Masters. Something happened. Wait. The human race is turning the tables. The Supreme Masters and Universe Masters watching the fight were all thrilled. The Dark Universe, the battlefield for the two teams. Counterattack. Luo Feng ordered. Counterattack. Counterattack. Counterattack, resounded the voice of Darkness Master in the ears of all the Universe Masters under Black Prison Tower. They were all excited. They only knew there were 3 plans for counterattacks. However, they didn't know the details. For what it was worth, they knew that the human race had a trump card, and it was time for them to show it now. Their will to fight was suddenly alight. Even those who had a hard time defending themselves were trying to look stable. Time to counterattack. Time to counterattack. They were all trying their best to defend themselves. At the same time, they were also watching how the situation was changing. In the area in front of Luo Feng and Pengong Master stood Dream Demon Ancestor, Shock Demon Ancestor, and Father God. They couldn't have cared less about Luo Feng. Boat of Mausoleum. Luo Feng waved his hands, and Boat of Mausoleum appeared. It immediately bulged and stood in front of the United Forces Alliance. However, the United Forces Alliance ignored the boat, as they knew that it couldn't do them any harm. Suddenly, the crystal ball floating at the door bulged. It reached a diameter of 10 million kilometers, bracing the entire door. The halos on the crystal ball concentrated at a single point like a narrowing pupil. The pupil aimed right at Empress Palace. The crystal ball had a diameter of 10 million kilometers, yet the pupil only had a diameter of 100,000 kilometers. The powerful mental force traveled in a straight line, slashing the sky and rocketing toward the Universe Masters beside the abyss of Empress Palace. The mental force traveled like a pillar of light, so it could only affect about 10 Universe Masters. Luo Feng didn't want to attack those 80 Universe Masters all at once because the pupil could maintain its maximum power within the diameter of 100,000 kilometers. However, if it kept bulging, the area covered would be large, and the power would be weaker. 100,000 kilometers was the best area. A towering Universe Master from Automation Race growled and groveled, trembling. No. Some Universe Masters groveled. Some lay down, and some fell, losing consciousness. The mind shock from Ancient God Eye was too strong, and within the Dark Universe, they weren't far from each other in terms of proximity. Besides, Luo Feng had put Ancient God Eye near Empress Palace on purpose so that it could wield its maximum power. Ancient God Eye spun slowly and swept in various directions. Every time it pivoted, it was able to affect about 10 Universe Masters. It turned a little bit, and it affected another 10 Universe Masters. It was a simple twist. The mental force storm circled around and affected all the Universe Masters under Empress Palace. Although the mind shock was directed away from the Universe Masters for a short period of time, it would take them a long while to recover. It was a fatal circle. A portion of great beings from the bug race, the demon race, and the automaton race were among those 80 Universe Masters. However, most of them were subsidiary races. Besides, they had learned from their previous experience and had left behind some Universe Masters who had the best chance to become Universe Supreme Masters at their miniature universes. If it were a top-tier level 5 being like Forbidden Master, they could have resisted it, as their minds had already reached Universe Supreme Master level. However, only 3 out of the 80 Universe Masters had minds that were at the Universe Supreme Master level. As for the others, they were either groveling or knocked unconscious. This was catastrophic to the United Races Alliance. Suddenly, they had lost 77 Universe Masters, and there were only 35 Universe Masters attacking the human team. Even all of them combined couldn't reach level 7. The United Races Alliance had 4 Universe Supreme Masters, so they had 40 Universe Masters in total. Which meant Ancient God Eye had eliminated half the fighting power of the entire alliance, from more than 160 Universe Masters to just around 80 Universe Master. And the human race had more than 100 Universe Masters. Luo Feng and Pengong Master both performed their techniques. The Blade of Light and the Rod Shadow swept across Empress Palace. The human team could have the power of the combination of 120 Universe Master godly bodies, including Luo Feng and Pengong Master, whose power was at top-tier level 6. Finally, the human team's Universe Masters broke the energy domain and started the real counterattack. The Universe Masters from the human race started to attack Empress Palace. Swallowing. Darkness Master had been driving Black Prison Tower after the use of Ancient God Eye, and it finally started to work. 77 of the 80 Universe Masters fell, and all 80 Universe Masters, including those 3 who remained conscious, flew toward Black Prison Tower. But just as they were being swallowed by Black Prison Tower, the human team started to attack them relentlessly. No. How? Empress. The 3 top-tier beings of the subsidiary races were horrified. Those 3 alone weren't able to escape the swallowing power of the Supreme True Treasure Palace, and they weren't able to resist the attacks from Luo Feng, Pengong Master, or the other human Universe Masters. The colorful forces, the thin blade of light, and the rod shadow all hit them. Father God transmitted his voice. Empress. Empress. Protect them. Shock Demon Ancestor roared, also transmitting his voice. Protect them. Dream Demon Ancestor shouted, growing anxious as well. The attack was so sudden that they didn't have time to use their techniques to stop it. They could only place their hopes on Bug Empress, the last hope of the United Forces Alliance. If dozens of Universe Masters were killed or swallowed, it would be a nightmare for them. Shock Demon Ancestor and Dream Demon Ancestor were horrified by how the tables had turned. How is it possible? It shouldn't be this strong. Neither Shock Demon Ancestor nor Dream Demon Ancestor could understand it. Although they had suffered a huge loss in the first battle against the humans, they hadn't told the automaton race or the bug race about the valuable that had the mind shock power, as they had wanted to weaken they two races. However, the bug race and the automaton race weren't stupid. When they were distributing the Universe Masters, they firmly demanded that the great beings from the three races should be equally distributed at 3 places. The ship under the protection of Shock Demon Ancestor and Dream Demon Ancestor, the Black Oval of Father God, and the Empress Palace all had Universe Masters from 3 races, so every power would suffer roughly the same, which could ensure the unity among the 3 races. And then Dream Demon Ancestor and Shock Demon Ancestor found an excuse to mention the mind shock. The Bug Race Empress and Father God asked Universe Masters like Forbidden Master who had survived the mind shock, and they had confirmed that only Limit Universe Master minds could resist it. There are 80 Universe Masters in Empress Palace. Although those who have the best chance to become Universe Supreme Masters didn't participate, 3 of them have the minds of Universe Supreme Masters, and 11 of them have Limit Universe Master minds. There are 16 godly bodies like that in total. Combined, they are able to rival 2 Universe Supreme Masters, and the energy domain they form can easily resist the swallowing power from Black Prison Tower. Plus, they have the capacity to protect other Universe Masters as well. No matter how powerful the enemies are, Empress can still put them in the palace. This was the plan of the 3 races. However, the mind-shocking valuable was more powerful than last time, which was totally unexpected. I've never heard of mind-shocking valuables that can threaten Universe Masters. The human race got 2 of them. And the second one is more powerful than the first one. Shock Demon Ancestor and Dream Demon Ancestor were shocked. Bug Empress was anxious as well. Bug Empress transmitted her voice. Top-tier True Treasure Palaces. Pinnacle True Treasure Palaces. You 3. Get in the True Treasure Palaces first and get as many Universe Masters around you in there as possible. Quick. In the distance, Luo Feng was controlling Ancient God Eye on Boat of Mausoleum. Ancient God Eye was close to Empress Palace, and it attacked the Universe Masters again and again, rendering them powerless. Palace. The top 3 beings from the subsidiary race knew that even if they hid in the palaces would be swallowed by Black Prison Tower. They immediately followed Bug Empress's orders. 3 palaces showed up. 2 of them were pinnacle palaces, and 1 was a top-tier palace. Quick, protect the other Universe Masters, Bug Empress urged them. Come in. The 3 powerful Universe Masters all enlarged their palace true treasures, and they tried to put all the Universe Masters in their palaces. Bug Empress also acted. Swallow. Bug Empress tried to swallow the Universe Masters from the human team before. Now, she changed her target and tried to swallow the 80 Universe Masters from the United Forces Alliance. The swallowing power worked on the 3 palaces and the Universe Masters floating around them. Empress Palace and Black Prison Tower, it tried to swallow the 80 Universe Masters at the same time. The power immediately slowed the Universe Masters, while the 3 Universe Masters of other races also tried to fight. However, Luo Feng, Penggong Master, and other Universe Masters from the human team started to attack. They were so close, and the human team had attacked too fast. Even if the 3 Universe Masters all took out their palace true treasures and put the floating Universe Masters in, they only managed to put in most of them. Some Universe Masters were still floating in the distance. The blade of light and the rod-shaped shadow swept across them. The mental force of Ancient God Eye was still working. The Universe Masters who were floating in the sky didn't even know that any danger was coming. No. Shock Demon Ancestor and Dream Demon Ancestor roared. No. Father God was also in agony, as one of the Universe Masters who died was from Automaton race. A top-tier level 6 Universe Master was able to kill a top-tier level 3 Universe Master with 1 attack. And that was even when the top-tier level 3 Universe Master used everything he could to resist the attacks. Now, when those Universe Masters were unconscious and unable to resist, even level 4 great beings would be killed. The storm of attacks over level 7 could kill even level 5 great beings if they didn't resist it. 22 godly bodies were annihilated immediately. 22 godly bodies, 18 universe masters. 6 of them have multiple bodies. Some of them lost one body, and some of them have 2 bodies. However, the other 12 universe masters lost their lives forever. 12 universe masters. The 4 universe supreme masters were all in agony. Bug Empress and the other 3 conscious universe masters avoided being swallowed because they had the palaces to protect them. The United Forces Alliance was furious. However, they were also relieved, as their worst nightmare was that all the universe masters would be swallowed. Plan number 3. Luo Feng transmitted his voice. Plan number 3. Darkness Master also gave an order in Black Prison Tower. The human universe masters and the universe masters of other races on the human team were all excited. What had just happened was amazing. They had killed 22 universe master bodies in total, and they presumed that at least 10 were dead, even if some had multiple bodies. But this was only the first step of the counterattack. Plan number 3, attack. 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 The universe masters started to attack Father God and the 2 demon ancestors. Half of the attacks were aimed at Father God. The other half was aimed at the 2 demon ancestors. Humans are so arrogant. Shock demon ancestor roared. Humans should die. Universe masters from the United Forces Alliance were standing at the door of the spaceship and the Black Oval. They were all enraged and were counterattacking the humans as well. However, they were careful, remaining close by Universe Supreme Masters. Ancient God Eye kept sweeping across the 3 palaces, flying toward Empress Palace so that the 62 Universe Masters weren't able to wield their real power. After all, the 62 Universe Masters were the central power of the United Forces Alliance. If Ancient God Eye left, the power would be fully utilized again. That was why they had to be suppressed. The human team kept attacking the automaton race and the demon race. Ancient God Eye suppressed the 62 Universe Masters. At the same time, Luo Feng and Penggong Master started to move. Capture. Luo Feng stood in space, and a giant being appeared beside him. It was a golden horned beast with scaled black wings. There were 2 bloodstains on the black wings. The white wing was an exceptionally advanced supreme true treasure, so it can change its color easily. Luo Feng, golden horned beast, and Penggong Master attacked at the same time. Duan Mie. Golden horned beast roared. This was the first time that he had performed Duan Mie, one of the core techniques from Duan Dong River. Although he had created Nirvana Incarnation, the power of the White Wing was still inferior to Blood Shadow Blade, even if it was better than ordinary Supreme True Treasures. Golden Horned Beast could barely reach level 6 without Duan Mie. However, after performing it, it could reach top-tier level 6 instantly. The Blade of Light was thin at the beginning, and it became thicker and thicker, sweeping across the sky and land. The other streak of bloody light followed almost the same trajectory. It was a combination of 3 top-tier level 6 powers. Together with the attacks from the other 50 Universe Masters, they all fell on Shock Demon Ancestor and Dream Demon Ancestor. You can't even harm me, humans. Shock Demon Ancestor and Dream Demon Ancestor weren't scared, despite being surprised by the power of this golden horned beast. Shock Demon Ancestor became very cautious. He had learned a lesson before. He immediately transmitted his voice to the Universe Masters between him and Dream Demon Ancestor, saying, "Get into the ship." At the same time, an enormous object showed up. A tall tower showed up. There were 9 levels. It was more than 100 billion kilometers tall, and it kept surging. There was an abyss under the tower, and a drop of godly blood was stuck to the abyss. Star Tower. The humans have Star Tower. Shock Demon Ancestor and Dream Demon Ancestor were both dazed. Under the combined attacks from the 50 Universe Masters and 3 top-tier level 6 power, even Shock Demon Ancestor and Dream Demon Ancestor bounced away. Under this situation, Star Tower's appearance was catastrophic for them. No. Shock Demon Ancestor and Dream Demon Ancestor both roared. Star Tower. No. Father God and Bug Empress were also anxious. Luo Feng and Golden Horned Beast, who were making attacks, both said, "Swallow." Their godly power and minds were driving Star Tower. This was the first time that Star Tower had appeared. The pinnacle true treasure ship immediately flew toward the abyss under Star Tower. Some universe masters tried to fly out, but they were swallowed immediately after flying out. To the united force of the three races, there was a sudden twist of events on the battlefield. Indeed, it was disastrous for them. The humans' counterattack consisted of a series of repeated attacks, putting their force at an advantageous position. The united forces of the three races were about to suffer a crushing defeat. Ancient God I appeared suddenly to suppress the most powerful troop within the united force of the three races, the combined troop of 80 universe masters. The combined attack by over 50 godly bodies, all of whom had powers at a universe master level, was enough to send the entire force on Father God's side flying back. They were driven to immediate retreat without being able to render help to the two demon ancestors at all. Golden horned beast body suddenly appeared. Shortly after, it joined Luo Feng's original body, Peng Gong, and more than 50 godly bodies. The resulting attack sent Shock Demon Ancestor and Dream Demon Ancestor flying into the distance right away. At the most critical moment, Star Tower finally appeared. It was executing its ability to swallow and suppress. Originally, the 16 universe masters who, in fact, had a total of 18 godly bodies had been hiding within the vessel. With their powers combined, they could resist the suction force of Star Tower. However, at the deepest area of the black hole of the deep abyss within Star Tower, there was still a drop of godly blood. For this war, the most important troop within the united force of the three races was the one consisting of 80 universe masters in Empress Palace. To prevent accidents from happening, almost all of those with the willpower of top-tier universe masters and universe supreme masters were included in this troop of 80 universe masters. This was the reason why, out of the 16 universe masters within the vessel that Shock Demon Ancestor and Dream Demon Ancestor were protecting, only one had the willpower at the ultimate limit of a universe master. The rest were not up to this standard. So, in the face of an impact by that godly blood, as many as half the members of their troop were knocked unconscious on the spot. 3 went weak at the knees. Only one managed to resist the impact of that willpower and continued to stay awake. But only one managed to unleash an outburst of his normal combat power. How was he able to resist the suction of Star Tower at the same time? Even if this vessel, which belonged to Shock Demon Ancestor, was manipulated by him from afar, there was no way he could put up a resistance concurrently. After all, even if Shock Demon Ancestor had control over one Palace Supreme True Treasure, when pitted against Luo Feng's Star Tower, it would, at most, be equivalent to Star Tower. He was merely able to control this pinnacle True Treasure Palace, so there was naturally no way he could put up any resistance. No, Demon Ancestor. The cabin doors opened, and 2 figures flew out. They wanted to escape, yet they felt like a small wooden boat that had fallen into a vast ocean whirlpool. No matter how they struggled, they could not resist the gravitational force at all. Hong. Everything was sucked into the Star Tower, including the vessel that was a pinnacle True Treasure Palace and the 2 universe masters who had flown out. Silence returned. Far away, in the void space of the dark universe, there were numerous universe supreme masters either in their original bodies or their avatars. There were also universe masters deployed by various groups, some of whom were acquaintances who were familiar with one another and were chatting or exchanging their views when they met up. However, the moment they saw that the tables were turned and the situation was worsening, they were completely shocked. The situation had been reversed. And it was a major reversal. The united force of the three races was banished to the bottomless deep abyss. They had lost. A crushing defeat. They actually lost. Out of the numerous universe supreme masters who were scattered all over, Sitting Mountain Guest, who sat cross-legged on the Cyan Mountain peak, registered a shocked expression on his face as he sighed and lamented, "How surprising. So surprising. Lost. The united force of the three races actually lost." The purple-robed figure also lamented with a sigh. The situation is going to become troublesome. The united force of the three races has suffered a great loss this time. They have lost too many universe masters. Indeed, this is a disaster. And the human force owns a true treasure possessing impactful willpower. This will deprive the group of universe masters of the united force of any possible grounds of unleashing their power. Without the help of that group of universe masters, the 4 universe supreme masters alone will definitely not be enough to fight the entire human force. The old beast god shook his head with a sigh. Hopeless. The united force of the 3 races has been defeated. It is impossible for them to even try to struggle. What a devastating defeat. The huge, winding black monster let out a piercing voice. Many have died. Haha. Shockhorn and Dream Tea, that pair of bastards. The demons should have known that working with them would eventually lead to their downfall. A ball of flame let out a voice. Lost. They have lost to the impactful willpower of that true treasure within the human force. Right, that true treasure with its impactful willpower. That true treasure was the reason the situation was reversed. The troop consisted of universe masters with the strongest powers, and yet, they were all rendered useless by that true treasure. The numerous universe supreme masters were all sighing. Just what kind of a true treasure is that? We are too far away, and the power within the battlefield is under too much fluctuation. There is no way we can get a clear view. And the impact of willpower is intangible. There is no way to judge what kind of true treasure is causing it. But, judging from the reaction of the group of universe masters of the united force of the 3 races, they must have met with the impact of that willpower. Hasn't anyone noticed Star Tower? Star Tower. Of course, I see it. It's just that I had not expected it to be in the hands of the human race. And it seems like Luo Feng is the one controlling it. Oh, Star Tower. Previously, we all have tried our best, but no one was able to control it. Who would have expected that it would fall into Luo Feng's hands? The numerous universe supreme masters started lamenting and shaking their heads amidst sighs. The power of Star Tower was undoubtedly extremely strong. The only problem was, in the past, no one was able to get it to recognize them as its master. Such a supreme true treasure. A palace type, indeed. Such palace-type true treasures were extremely rare, to start with. In the entire primal universe, with all the universe supreme masters put together, those who owned a palace supreme true treasure might add up to only 2. Yet, in this war, the humans first presented Black Prison Tower, which had originally belonged to East Emperor Holy Land. Then, they revealed that they had Star Tower, a true treasure that had previously recognized no master. The human force is so powerful. They have such a big group of universe masters. And, they have a rod-type attack supreme true treasure and 2 palace supreme true treasures. Especially that Luo Feng. That Luo Feng in his original human body, together with his golden horned beast body, both with combat power at 6th tier as the top level. I have long heard of him having a beast body, and he also has that Mosha body that previously made an appearance. Come to think of it, it may be because he seized his golden horned beast body from his winnings. Thus, he was able to subsequently divide himself into 3 different bodies. Both the original body and the other body are able to unleash an outburst of combat power at the 6th tier level. True, that Luo Feng's human original body and that other golden horned beast body are both capable of unleashing combat powers at the 6th tier as the top level. Could it be that his blade and that pair of wings are both supreme true treasures, too? This is too many treasures. This Luo Feng has actually received the inheritance of the pulse of Duandong River. He has met with such a great opportunity that you can never envy enough. It might not necessarily be a supreme true treasure. He has previously broken through the basic inheritance of the blade and seized the inheritance of the pulse of Duandong River. Based on the information I know, previously, when he broke through the basic inheritance, he was already able to create a secret technique at the level of a universe supreme master. Judging by his blade technique, I supposed his blade technique is also already at the level of a universe supreme master. For ordinary universe masters to show power at the 6th tier, they would need to rely on their godly power. A godly power of 10,000 times of life genes would activate the secret engravings on their supreme true treasures, which would allow them to execute the secret technique at the level of a universe supreme master. And Luo Feng. Even without the help of a supreme true treasure, he could already execute a secret technique at the level of a Universe Supreme Master, which was his own creation. If he really was a Universe Master with 10,000 times life genes, even without a Supreme True Treasure, so long as he executed Nirvana Renaissance, he could still achieve an outburst of combat power at the level of the 6th tier as the top. His only disadvantage was that his godly power was a notch weaker. Theoretically, his ability was only at a 5th tier top level. Relying on Blood Ghost Blade, he managed to make it to the 6th tier as the top level. Relying on the White Pair of Wings, he barely made it to the 6th tier, so he needed to execute Extermination to achieve an outburst of power at a 6th tier as the top level. Old Beast God. That Luo Feng has a golden horned beast body. Why aren't you showing any reaction to it? Since this golden horned beast that he won could allow him to cultivate another body, it also means that this golden horned beast has yet to become undying. My Space Beast Alliance. Those space beasts who are weaker are destined to live their lives wandering about the universe. Be it life or death, their fate lies within their control. The old beast god said this in a leisure tone. I'm leaving. This war is over. Let's go. I had initially pinned my hopes on the united force of the three races to save us some effort. It seems like they are still not up to it. Now, it's time for me to start preparing well. The numerous Universe Supreme Masters went still for a moment. Shortly after, they all left the Dark Universe. Those Universe Masters who were secretly observing the situation from afar also started to leave one by one. After Shock Demon Ancestor and Dream Demon Ancestor were blown off in the air, they were fast in returning without delay, but they were still too late. Humans. Shock Demon Ancestor and Dream Demon Ancestor yelled and roared. They were extremely angry. They all deserved to die. Father God of the automaton race was also extremely angry. Loathsome, detestable humans. Revolting. Empress appeared outside her palace that in the distance. Her face also registered rage. The four Universe Supreme Masters of the three races were indeed at the apex of their anger. Hovering in a horizontal manner amidst the void space by the cabin doors of the boat of Mausoleum was none other than ancient God Eye. It was still sweeping the surroundings repeatedly, as it consistently maintained a sharp eye that was directed at Empress Palace. The moment that group of 62 Universe Masters dared to step foot out of Empress Palace, they would be in danger of being swept under the impact of the willpower of this ancient God Eye. Ha ha ha, Luo Feng laughed heartily. In midair, the huge, lofty star tower rapidly shrunk and directly landed on the golden horned beast's back. Golden horned beast carried star tower on its back. Beside it was Luo Feng with his silver wings widespread. Further down the Rao was Pengong Master, who was holding on to Yang Jun Rod, and from afar, Black Prison Tower was making its way over. Behind them all was the massive boat of Mausoleum whose length spanned a distance of 10 billion kilometers. Do you all still want to go on with another round of battle? Luo Feng shouted. Demons, Bug Clan, Automaton Race. Pengong Master also shouted out. If you three races still want to go on for another round, we are most willing to oblige. The united forces of the three races were so angry that they were on the verge of going crazy. But looking at Black Prison Tower, then looking over to Star Tower being carried on the back of that golden horned beast, these were two palace-type true treasures they were talking about. Besides, those who had some prior bits of information could easily deduce that that golden horned beast body was likely Luo Feng's other body. Luo Feng's original body and other bodies were all equipped with combat power at a 6th tier as the top level. This was the same as Pengong's combat power. In terms of the 6th tier as the top-level combat power, the human race fared pretty well. Besides, it also had a large troop of Universe Masters. And a treasure with impactful willpower that could suppress the power of the opposing united force of three races, so that they could not unleash their full potential. And the human race also had two palace-type supreme true treasures. Humans, you won only because you had supreme true treasures. Shock Demon Ancestor bellowed. That's about it. He was, certainly, at the apex of his rage. Ha ha ha. What a great joke. Luo Feng held out his left hand, and Star Tower, which was beside him, flew right to the middle of his palm where it remained suspended in the air. Luo Feng laughed with gaiety as he said, Being able to seize supreme true treasures is also an ability, just like the inheritance of the pulse of Duandong River, within the entire universe ocean, who would not have heard about it? Everyone obviously came for it, but I, Luo Feng, was the one who won it. This is what we call an ability. Don't be such a bad sport. If not for Father God of the automaton race who hid himself in that black sphere and refused to come out. It must have been afraid that the group of universe masters under its protection would be sucked over by us humans once and for all. This video will end here.